Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Southeastern Medical Device Association 2013 at the Georgia Tech Global Learning Center in Atlanta, Georgia. With me is Dr. Jane Green of Morley Research Consortium. It's a private concern. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to have you. Okay, let's get right into it. Tell me about Morley Research.
Morley Research has been in business for over 2 decades. We are a contract research organization. We help companies from startup all the way through post-marketing. We do research from phase 1 through phase 4. We work with devices and pharma. And we have doctors, lawyers, we have the whole 9 yards. That's why we built the consortium as we did. We had 20 years experience doing this prior, and now we have the whole gamut that does regulatory. We do the actual testing, the clinical testing first in man, and then we help take it to FDA. We bring it all the way to market, and then we don't take it to market. We're not that part, but we do everything prior to that. And we were a foundation beforehand, so we think that we do it better and much cheaper than anyone else.
It sounds like you're a one-stop shop. I mean, if you could direct your attention, who should come to you?
Anyone who really has an idea. We have physicians that walk in with an idea on a piece of paper, as well as an engineer, and we have people with drugs. You know, a gentleman inside a university says, you know, I've got this combination drug that I think will work, and we work with pretty much anybody. We prefer to work with the companies that have already gotten their funding and aren't startups. But what we really like best is having them early on, because from early on we can help direct them so that they don't have issues with FDA. That's the key part. Is we have never had any company that we've worked with have an FDA issue. We've certainly cleaned up some messes on companies, but when we've helped them from start to finish, we've never had the problem. And the one-stop shop is kind of the effect. I was with the chamber for the last couple of years, the Metro Atlanta Chamber, and we were kind of designing this one-stop shop, and pretty much our company did it internally, and we put together the best of the best, and we work all over the country as well as internationally, so not just in Atlanta.
So let me ask you a question. What really demarcate the differentiation between what you do and what happens at an incubator, if you would?
Okay, we really aren't an incubator at this point. We work with the incubator people. They have the idea inside the university. We let them kind of mull it through, kind of work it out. But we like to be brought in really early with them to help them realize where they need to take it and go. Like 2 of our clients are here presenting today, one yesterday and one today at SEMDA. Because earlier on, they always think that, well, we can do a clinical trial for, let's say, $200,000. Well, doesn't happen that way, but it's not the millions of dollars that, you know, a pharma company would do. So for a medical device company, we can really guide them along the path and put them in touch with, we really only see them, we may meet them at first and help a little bit with the design or something, but then we kind of partial them out to all these different folks who we know that have proven track records. Then when they need the clinical trial, they come back to us.
What's your background?
Geez, I have a very varied background. I have been in medical research for almost 30 years. I was one of the initial founding members of SOCRA, the Society of Clinical Research Associates. I was one of the 3 people who trained at Duke University and started the first Duke University training research program. I was one of the pioneers in research. I've been around it for a long, long time, but 30 years there, and then 8 years in law enforcement prior to coming into the medical world. I decided that the medical world is a lot safer world to be in.
Question for you, and I'd like to wrap it up with this. Where do you see the medical device industry going?
I think it's still pretty widespread. That it's open. I think innovations are certainly out there. I see a lot of really great ideas coming through. The funding is always an issue. It's going to be more of an issue probably a little bit later, because we used to be able to help people get a lot of grants, and that's kind of drying up a little bit now, especially in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure it's going to drop even more. But, you know, I think there's always going to be entrepreneurs out there. There's always going to be people with great ideas, great concepts. And you know, it's all about the patients. We're devising methods to treat patients better and faster and less expensive. So I think that's the key to everything.
Well, for all of you entrepreneurs out there and investors and anyone who wants to come, what is your website?
It's MorleyResearchConsortium.com. Spell it all out.
I'll tell you what, folks. Morley is Morley, and I'll leave the rest to you.
That's right. That's right. But you can put in a search and just put Morley Research, and it'll pop up.
You know, I want to thank you for coming on to SNNLive. Your insights are very, very insightful for our audience. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. This is Dr. Jane Green of Morley Research Consortium. We're at the Southeastern Medical Device Association 2013 at the Georgia Tech Global Learning Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.